Hello, everyone. Welcome to Passport Profiles. My name is Franco,
Shannon.
and we're here with the amazing PR powerhouse, Lauren Frye.
There you go.
I got it right,
yes.
right? I got it right, Lauren?
It's correct.
I like PR powerhouse.
She is
like
a
it too.
PR powerhouse.
I like it too.
That's what you need to put now under your description.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Business card.
You for Trailblaze, right? VP
Yeah.
for Trailblaze, and I'm
Yes.
one of this amazing companies. So thank you for
Yes.
being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's so good to see you guys again.
I know. We got to make this a little bit more frequent because you're such a great human, and we love connecting with you and that river cruise. So
Same.
You know what? And then we got to hang out in February, was it?
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, April. Or when
Yeah.
was that?
It
April,
was
May.
April.
In April. Okay.
On Fisher
Yes.
Island.
Here
That
in
was-
Miami.
That's right.
Yeah. So so we're gonna start with your passport profile. I think we just want everybody to get to know you a little bit. So you basically came from Connecticut. You're a Connecticut native, right? And then
That's right.
you've done hospitality and PR and tourism for quite a bit. What drew you to travel specifically and public relations, this whole world?
That's a great question. I started doing public relations for a nonprofit. I was living in San Francisco, and it was a really small nonprofit. So I was the office manager, but it was like, if you can do something, you're going to end up adding that to your job description. And I took it upon myself to write a press release for an event we were having, and it got in the paper, in the San Francisco Chronicle. And I was like, this
Nice.
is something I want to pursue. And fast forward a bit, I moved to North Carolina. I got a degree in creative writing, went back to PR, and worked for an agency that had all kinds of clients. So we had, plumbing outfitter and bank, and we had Butterball, turkey, and none of them really. You have to be a master of everything when you're in PR. So you have to very quickly learn about, you have to read magazines like Deli Case Monthly, which is a real magazine, but you can learn.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So you can learn about cold cut PR.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was. And that was not my favorite client, but we had a client called Baldhead Island, which is a little car-free, ferry access only resort island here in North Carolina. And they became one of my clients. And I was like, okay, this is where my two loves intersect, public relations, storytelling, and travel. And I ended up leaving the agency and going to work full time for them for 8 years. And that's really when I figured out how I could marry these two things that I loved and I was good at.
That's amazing. I mean, it's great when you get two of your loves
Yeah.
and combine them, and then that's what you do for a living, right?
Yeah.
It makes it that much easier.
I'm very fortunate that I figured that out.
And you're still in North Carolina, correct?
Yeah. I live in Wilmington, where it is going to be 96 degrees today. It's not my favorite part of living here, but yeah.
But you get winters.
Yeah.
We get a little winter. I can wear a jacket. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
We get a day in Miami.
I know.
We get
and that's
65.
it.
We get 65. and
Everyone's freezing.
That's
in
Christmas.
their pussies. Yeah.
You want to go for the next one, babe?
Yeah, we're gonna do the fact and fiction.
No, babe.
Where?
So
Oh.
basically, yeah. She hasn't had enough coffee
No,
today,
it's not
Lauren.
just
I
that. I
apologize.
also do get pieces of his notes sometimes. So go ahead. Yes. I see where we're at.
Yes.
Got you. All right. So I skipped a segment. So let me ask you, what does travel mean to you? Now that you're able to marry your writing and the travel, what does travel mean to you?
Travel is something that I was lucky to come upon travel pretty early in my life. My parent would take us every year to Cape Cod. And, I it was a place that I really deeply fell in love with. And I think even though I couldn't have put a name to it when I was a kid, there was a specialness to having a connection to this other place that we got to go. And it always lived in my heart, even when we weren't there. And as I got older, you guys have kids in high school, right? Or you have kids that are, okay. So when I was in ninth grade, my parents let me go on a class trip. If you took Spanish, they offered a class trip to Spain. And I was like, there's
Nice.
parents let me do this. And they did. They sent me, which was incredible, an opportunity. And I think I never looked back from that point. I just can remember landing in Madrid, jet lagged, first time I'd ever flown internationally, and the sights and the smells. I was just on fire for it. And yeah, I think that was something I always knew that I wanted to do. And I mean, what it means to me, I think, is just stepping outside of the bubble that you live in on a daily basis. You know, the bubble of my family, and then the bubble of Wilmington, and the bubble of North Carolina. You know, it's easy to kind of, I don't know, get complacent or see the world as a very small place. And it's always great to be reminded that there's so many different kinds of humans out there and landscapes. And yeah, I always see it as a learning and growing opportunity.
That's, we travel a lot with our kids,
Yeah.
and I was an educator for 20 years. And so I would take them like out of school to go travel, and I would miss work, but I would say, and they would miss school, and I always say, like, for them, that's the best education that I'm able to give them.
Absolutely.
And I believe in that, just going somewhere different, walking around, and they see the difference too. Like whenever we go to another country and they're like, I feel different here, and I'm like, yes, it's just different,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you were able to experience that and your parents let you go.
Yeah,
And
like
mine's
kudos to your
great.
parents. I mean, like
I know.
that was the best gift, I think. Yeah, I agree with Shannon, I think, and you, like, I think the best education you could give anybody, regardless of their children or adults, is just seeing different cultures, seeing different ways of living, seeing, you know what I mean? Like, just the more you understand humanity, I think your empathy levels kind of increase, and your cohabitational skill sets increase as well. So
No, I
Yeah.
think it's important too. Like we travel with our kids, but I would love for them to go on their own without us, like without that extra security blanket, so where they have to like kind of figure those things out, and you didn't have that. You obviously have your teachers and your friend that, your friends that are with you, but it's not that like that parent that's going to make you safe. So you have those tools like on like extra senses and,
Yeah.
spidey senses, and
Yeah.
making sure that you're like, am I okay? And what I would love for our kids to do that,
well, I mean, well, the oldest one does, but
Yeah.
But that being said, and I'm gonna hop to this question because I think it's kind of connecting. It's like you mentioned you got a degree in creative writing. How does like the travel influence the writing, and how does the writing influence your travel? Like, how does that marriage
Yeah.
exist? Of like you traveling, does that inspire your writing? Does that inspire, like your creativity? Like, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, traveling definitely inspires my creativity. I always travel with a notebook, and I also do a little bit of art. So sometimes I'll travel with a sketchbook or watercolors, which is something I love to do. But yeah, just like writing little snapshots of where I am, descriptions, that kind of like keeps the creative juices flowing. And then I think having a degree in creative writing really helps me in my job as a publicist, because you have to be a storyteller and you have to understand what stories journalists are looking for and what stories they want to tell, what stories editors want to publish. So you have to think like a storyteller in order to do this job. You can't just, type up the facts and send it out to be successful. So I do think they really go hand in hand.
Let me ask you, because I'm huge on this. You said that you carry a notebook. So when you're traveling and you want to write something down, you don't type it out, you actually hand write it.
I do, yes. And I'm not a big
I love that.
handwriter, but I do it when I'm traveling. I find it to be I used to keep a journal all the time. It's like I go back to that place where you and your journal and you're in a safe place and you can write whatever you want. And I kind of get back in that mode. And I really love it, actually. It's a practice I don't do at home, but maybe I should, consider it because I find it very relaxing and, just a chance
Therapeutic.
Yeah, exactly. Be with your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could, but my handwriting, like I should have been a doctor. Let's just put it that way, because my handwriting is just scribble. It's horrendous, especially now with all the texting. Like I've become horrible with my handwriting.
Yeah. So you know what I do? I talk into my notes. So that way I'm not typing, but I'm like, if I have something to say, I'll just kind of like speak, and it's probably wrong, but I'll go back and fix it later because I feel like that's easier.
Right, when she's screaming at me, that also goes into the text. So that's, it doesn't. But we're gonna go now, I think, to our next segment, Lauren, because you did mention you're from Danbury, Connecticut, and we were like, you know what? Let's test how much of a native Danburian you are.
Danburian,
right? That's how you say it, Danburian.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to dig deep.
She's like, let me write this down.
Okay. You ready? I'm going to go first and then you go, Shannon. Okay. I'm just going to remind you, you go after I go. Okay. Ready? Fact or fiction? Danbury was once known as the Hat City because it was the largest producer of hats in the United States.
That is fact. Our high school football team was the Danbury Hatters, and my grandfather, when he came to America from Poland, worked in a hat factory. So
there you go. Awesome.
That's really good.
You go.
That's a great mascot.
Yeah, the Hatters. I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Weird.
Was the football team with their helmets like a hat?
I would have loved that. Like a top hat,
right?
To play football.
Yeah, like a top hat.
No, but they
so like I got some like facts here. Like in the late 19th centuries and 20th centuries, Danbury was known as the Hat City because the center of the U.S. hat making industry produced about 25% of the nation's hats at its peak. So amazing. A quarter of the nation's hats came from your town.
That is funny.
Yeah,
look at that.
That's pretty amazing. You're next, Shannon.
I'm next.
You're next.
Fact. Fiction. Danbury is home to the largest natural lakes in New England.
Oh, man.
Okay, it's a tough one.
It's a tough one. I grew up near Candlewood Lake. I believe that is a man-made lake. Oh, man. I'm gonna say fiction.
Good.
2 for 2.
Oh, yes, you did grow up next to Candlewood Lake, which is Connecticut's largest lake, but it's not man-made. You're so good.
No, it is man-made.
No, it says, but it is. Oh, yes, it is man-made.
Yeah,
you said, yes.
Yeah.
It's not natural. And it was created in the 1920s for hydroelectric purposes. There you go, for power and light. Very cool.
Okay, so far you're a hell of a Danburian.
Yeah, there you go. 2 for 2.
All right, here we go. Fact or fiction? Danbury is located along the I-95 corridor, giving it direct coastal access to Long Island Sound.
Okay. That I am not sure about. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say fact.
It's fiction. Yeah. Danbury's not located along the I-95 and has no direct coastal access. It is inland, situated along I-84 in western Connecticut.
Yeah. I should have got that
and
right.
It's 30 miles north of Long Island Sound.
Yeah. I should have got that right.
Next one, facts or fiction. Danbury is home to Western Connecticut State University, a public university with programs in arts, science, and business.
That is a fact.
That is right. So it is part of the Connecticut State Colleges and universities system, offering a variety of programs, including performing arts, business, and nursing.
When I was growing up, I had the best radio station, college radio station, WXCI, and I was very much into new wave in the 80s, and they played like my kind of music. So yeah, I will always have a soft spot for Western Connecticut State University.
Nice. Well, our
WVUM
is which is the University of Miami. They have the best radio, like all alternative, underground, and
College radio is the best. Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's the new fresh sounds, that just coming out of there. I love.
All right,
All right,
last one.
this is
Go
the
ahead.
last one. This is the last one, and I think I'm gonna crown you Miss Danburian of 2025, right? Fact or fiction? During the American Revolution, Danbury was burned by British troops in a raid led by General William Tryon.
I believe that is a fact.
It's true. That's right.
She's good. She's good.
Look at
I can't
that.
stump her, and I tried hard on this one.
So April 1777, the British forces were under the general, and he raided and burned parts of Danbury, which was a key supplier for the Continental Army. This event is been oh my gosh, I'm turning into you now.
What?
It has they do reenactments there.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
Have you ever been to one of those reenactments?
No, I haven't, but I kind of want. They do them here too. They do Civil War reenactments here in Fort Fisher. So someday
wow.
I'm sure I'm gonna check that out.
I'm gonna have to one day also. Yeah. You know what? If we're ever in town,
We
gonna
need to just do it.
I think that should
We'll
be
do
like
it.
our play date. We just go there and
Yeah.
all right. Well,
Definitely.
thank you for playing. I hope that was fun for you.
I loved
This
it.
gives us more insight into your life. But now we're going to the segment called My Wanderlust, and we have touched a little bit on these topics, just starting our interview, but we really want to get into what I mentioned, right? Like why travel is so important. And you did touch upon my first question, like how do you how's it interwoven into your personal and professional life? And I think I'm gonna just since you kind of answered this question, I do kind of want to take it another step another level up. How do because you do work travel, right? Like you travel a lot for work.
It's work travel. I love your job.
Yeah.
But-
I travel a lot for work.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like is there a separation of is it is it leisure? Do you ever have if you're actually working, like are you really
enjoying it?
Are you really enjoying it? Are you really kind of in awe or in the experience?
Yeah, I am. I think I'm very fortunate in that way because when I travel for work, typically it is to bring journalists with me to expose them to my client. And sometimes it's to something I've done or seen before, and sometimes it's not. And part of my job, in addition to making sure the journalists have what they need and, everything is going smoothly with them, is to be looking for story ideas and to be understanding what a guest would enjoy in this experience and what are the highlights of this experience. So I really have to be dialed in on what we're doing as much as I have to be dialed in on what's going on with my group. And so, it's not a vacation because I'm always open in a way, but I am fully experienced. It's very enjoyable. It's the best kind of work. It's the best part of my job is when I get to travel, for sure.
It's crazy because I do a lot of traveling too for my job, right? Like the production aspect. But the thing is that I don't enjoy it because every day we have something that has to do with the production. So I'm going around tech scouts, so it's not really it's not right. Like I think your job is the pleasure of it all, right? Like exposing the pleasure, like you mentioned, to these journalists, and so you're lucky, you're blessed.
You did some really cool travels too, like pirate ships. I've already gone a few times.
Yeah, we talked about Star Clippers is one of my clients, and they sail through a fleet of 3 tall clipper ships that are based on historic clipper ships. So they look very authentic. They are very authentic, more modern, obviously. And it's the coolest thing to arrive into a port on one of those ships. You just feel like the coolest person ever. Maybe there's like a big cruise ship or whatever. And then you come in on this sailing ship. It looks like, Jack Sparrow's going to jump off of it. And it's incredible. And, we talked about this. You can climb the mast to the crow's nest. You're rigged in and everything. It took me 8 trips on Star Clippers to get up the courage to actually do it. eh, You know, but it was
Yeah,
well
I
worth
wouldn't
it.
do it.
It was well worth it, but it took it took some talking to my, um, yeah, I mean, that's an experience I would not have probably known about that product if they weren't a client. And I don't even know if I would be a cruiser if it wasn't for this job. My first cruise I ever did was when I started working in this current position. And we have a lot of cruise lines. We've always historically had cruise lines as clients. And like, oh man, like, what if it's not my thing? What if I'm sick? I had a lot of hesitation. And my very first cruise ever was a coastal cruise through Norway in wintertime. And my luggage
Oh
got
my God.
lost, and I had no boots, and I had no jacket. Had to go and buy a bunch of stuff. But it was incredible. I mean, it was very different. If you say like, I went on a cruise, people are going to picture like the Bahamas or, Mexico. No, I was in Arctic Norway, and I loved it. And I was like, okay, this is for me. I want to do every kind of cruise. I'm all in.
I think, and I don't want to speak for Shannon, but I'm like you, right? Like cruising has not been my thing because I've always, living in Miami, all I see is like, go to the Bimini, go to Bahamas, go to the, and that to me gets old, and then I just never liked that vibe. But once, Shannon, and we got into this travel world, I realized all the different variations of cruises. And I'm like, okay, I agree. Like we looked into the Norwegian Arctic and I'm like, okay, this is fantastic. The Northern Lights and just the different things out there. Like, again, I want to talk to those sea clippers. Like I want to talk to them.
He'll go to the top. Right?
But I'll definitely dress up like Jack Sparrow.
Yes, there is
I
just like a
will.
pirate night. Yeah. I travel with a bag of eye
Yeah.
patches. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, I think cruising offers a different perspective on an environment. Like this Norway cruise, you're cruising through the fjords. You can't see that view really any other way. Seeing a city when you're river cruising from the perspective of the river is so cool and different. I just think the perspective you get from cruising is different than from land, and it's valuable.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just the different ways, like you just broke it down. I agree. I think people need to kind of open up their paradigm when it comes to the different types of cruises and experiences you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially those excursion ones down to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Like that's something I'm also dying to.
We're really thinking about doing that very soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
I have to sleep with the penguins.
Yeah, it's incredible. And really, that's
She's
the
dying to
only
go
way
through
to get there. The Drake.
Yeah.
the Drake.
Yeah, that I'm not looking forward to, but I'm ready.
I'm looking forward to see her face in the Drake. That's what I'm looking forward to.
No, you just see the patch behind your ear. You'll be fine.
Okay.
That really works? That patch behind the ear?
I did it
Really?
for the Drake, and I was fine. And we had a pretty rough ride both directions. So it does work.
I think also too, my nerves. It's not just so much the nausea.
Yeah.
I think like, oh my God, like
You
this
get
is
worked
scary.
up.
Like, why are the waves going over the bubble? Like, that to me, I think that's the part,
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little
I
crazy.
can't think about it.
But
I'm gonna do it.
you know what? One thing I did want to talk to you about. You've been in this industry, and you've been, in the travel industry for a bit, and hospitality and what have you. In the last 15 years, what have you seen kind of evolve and change? Like, how do you see the travel industry 15 years ago, and how do you see it today?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the possibilities, or what travelers see as the possibilities, have opened up a lot. Just take cruising, for example. I think 15 years ago, other kinds of cruising existed. But if you were to ask the average traveler, they would describe cruising as what we said, 3 days to the Bahamas, whatever. Now I think, river cruising, expedition cruising is more in the zeitgeist. And so people are more aware of it. So people feel they have more options and they're more adventurous, I think, because they understand the options. And I also really think that, the era of the travel advisor is back. I think when I remember the first time I ever got to book a flight online, I was like, oh my God, I'm in the future. Like, what is happening here? Right. And now I'm just like, I don't want to do it. And I don't want to book it. I don't want to figure it out. I want someone else to figure it out for me. And I think that is the mindset, especially of, the up and coming generation. And so I think I love that. I think that the travel advisor has become, more important than ever maybe because the world feels so much more opened up and there is so much more awareness of what you can do, it makes the decisions and the planning that much harder. I don't know. Do you guys think the same?
Well,
That's so the next question, you just answered it. So I don't even need to ask it anymore. So let's just talk about it. But yeah, it's funny when I'm doing a lot of more networking and I tell people, I'm like, oh, I'm a travel advisor. And they're like, you guys are still around? And I get that. But then I also get the clients are like, I don't have the energy. There's so much information out there. I try to do it on my own and I'm bombarded with this flight or this and I don't know what I want to do. What can you help me do? And I get a lot of, I didn't realize that. And I get a lot of, I don't have time, or like you said, there's just too much information. There's too many apps. There's too many decision making. I want to do this. My children want to do this. My wife wants to do this, and yeah, I think there is a huge rise of us coming back around again because maybe the online is so saturated, right? We don't know what to do or where to go.
Yeah.
And there's endless opportunities that I think that the regular people don't know about, and I talk to clients about expeditions are like, that happens? Like they don't,
Yeah.
like you said, and I'm like, yes, there's a whole world of expeditions that will take you that are not just your typical islands, especially in Miami. That's all. I mean, the cruising is, I can go at any time. So you're right. I do see it evolve and it's almost like a full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, and now that I've been analyzing that, getting into this world, it's, like everything, there is like when it first comes out, like online travel, scheduling, it's a novelty, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm in the future. But then when it becomes mass adoption, it becomes, because there's so much demand, it becomes almost cookie cutter. And it becomes almost like mass manufacturing, right?
Yeah,
of
exactly.
ideas and trips. So then now everybody gets the same trip, right? Or AI is gonna like give you something that they probably give somebody else. So it's like, I think having that human touch back into the equation makes it a little bit more personalized and a little bit more adventurous, because that person is gonna seek the unusual, the not mass produced, right? So that's what I'm thinking, and that's, I'm so happy that you you helped us transition to this question, because I find it interesting that struggle between technology and human travel advisors, and because I do get a sense though, a lot of the clients, they're like, it's almost like they challenge the travel advisor to say, oh wait, but I could find it cheaper.
I get that
Because they have the tools
all the time
to find it, right?
Right.
Like it's like you don't go to a dentist and say, oh no, I know how to clean this tooth better than you,
Right.
right? Because they don't have the tools to do it. But people, when they go travel and they go to a travel agent, they do have not the same tools, but they have tools to do it, and I feel like it's always a challenge,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to touch on something that he said. I do get that a lot. I'll put together a proposal and they're like, oh, but I found it here in this hotel here. And I'm like, great, book it. What you're not going to get is my personal touch. You're not going to get a phone call to me if your train is stuck. You're not going to get an upgrade. That's it, And so I get that. I want luxury, but they don't want the extra touches,
Yeah.
but that's what's happening now. I think a lot of people are like, okay, well, I don't want the cookie cutter. what can you offer me? And it's like that fine balance. But yeah, that touch of technology is like, but I found it here.
A lot
I
of people want the
know.
filet mignon with a McDonald's budget.
There you go. Filet mignon with the McDonald's budget. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. That's what everyone wants. And truly, like, your job is not just like booking a flight, booking a hotel. Your job is like figuring out what kind of experience this person wants to have. Are they like a bucket list checker offer and they need to see all these things? Or are they someone that wants to do something different? Are they a museum fanatic, right? And then you have to figure out how to execute that. So, I think it's like part counselor, part psychologist, part travel planner. There's a lot that goes into it. And I agree about online it makes it so difficult because you can read 5 top 10 things to do in Italy, and they're all going to be different. And then people are going to freak out that they're missing something. And what if they can't put it on Instagram and FOMO? And you have to cut through all that noise to try to give someone a trip that is going to deliver what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Agreed.
Agreed. All right. Well, man, thank you. That was a great conversation. That was a great segment. Now we're kind of winding down. Lauren, unfortunately, you've been amazing, but we usually end our interviews with this Dorian travel questionnaire. It's inspired by the Actors Studio. I don't know if you've seen that before.
Yes.
Where at the end they interview these actors, and then they give them like roughly about like a few questions that are pertain to acting as a whole or various little things. So we took inspiration from that. So, my love, you want to start us off?
So you kind of answered this question already, but maybe there was something in your adult life. So the first question is, what was the first trip that changed your life?
That's a great question. What was the first trip that changed my life? I have to say, I think actually maybe that Norway trip, because it showed me the options that cruising can offer. It took me to a country that if you would have said, do you want to go to Norway? I probably would have said, sure, but I don't really know that much about it. It doesn't interest me that much. And then when I got there, I realized how much that country has to offer in terms of culture and, scenic beauty and people. And so I think that really opened my eyes to like be even more curious than you already are about the world. Like, say yes to everything. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. All right.
Go ahead.
Well, I think you kind of also answered what destination has inspired you the most?
So
Norway?
you just answered that.
No, I don't. Okay. Well, Norway did inspire me quite a bit, but I think a destination that really inspired me was actually Cambodia. I did a Mekong River cruise through Vietnam and Cambodia, and
Nice.
it was such an interesting and beautiful experience, and also very, very moving. That country's been through a terrible time in our recent history, and so meeting people who had lost loved ones, and seeing the resilience of the people of Cambodia and how they're moving forward. There was so much like of a human connection there. And I don't speak Cambodian, and many of the people I met didn't speak English, but just to realize that you can connect with someone on an emotional level and you don't even have to necessarily have a conversation with them. I mean, that trip really, really inspired me.
That's amazing.
To think about. Yeah. That was a beautiful trip.
Nice.
All right.
I love it.
Yes. One of my other places I want to get to.
Yes.
All right. Next question is, what travel moment scared you the most?
Oh. Wow. What travel moment scared me the most? It wasn't climbing to the top of the mast on Starkly Birds, although that was pretty scary. Oh gosh, tough one for me. Can we get back to that one? I gotta think about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you next.
All right. Your favorite word in another language?
My favorite what?
word in another language.
Oh, okay. I mean, I have a lot of favorite words in Spanish because I'm learning Spanish. Um, and I have a little list in my head, but my current favorite word in Spanish is pantuflas, which are slippers, correct?
Pantuflas, that's right.
Pantuflas. I
That's
just think
right.
it's such
That's
a
right.
cute word. Pantuflas.
Yeah, pantuflas. It is a cute word.
We say in Miami, chancleta.
Yeah, man. Well, the
Chancleta.
Cuban, because that's the
Chancleta.
thing. Like Spanish, that's the thing about Spanish is that it varies, right?
It's
Depending
so
on your,
pretty, but
but it varies. But like Cubans are
but
we have our little ghetto language there, so we call it chancletas. Like we say parking in Miami, we say parqueo, right? But in reality, it's estacionamiento, right? That's the proper way of saying it. But we say parqueo, which is horrible Spanish. Like that's just ghetto rigged. But, yeah, but you did good. You did good. That was awesome. Proud of you.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
this one, I'm done. Since you are a writer, I would love to hear this one. If you could travel with a historical figure, who would it be and where would you go?
Ooh, wow. Okay. I think I would love to travel with Vincent van Gogh because he's my very favorite artist of all time. And I would love to travel to Arles with him, which is where he lived and painted for a while. I've been to Arles a few times and immediately I was like, I understand, like the light here is incredible. I understand why he was influenced. I've brought my paint with me and, been inspired there myself. I would love to see that location through his eyes and watch him paint. That would be a dream come true.
That's awesome.
That was an amazing answer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
That
I mean,
would
just
be a
get travel
dream.
insurance because he's a little erratic. He's a little erratic, so get travel insurance.
I know. I think maybe we have to have like a third. Maybe his brother could come with us because
Theo can go with you.
Just to
Theo
keep
has
him in
to
line.
come.
Keep him in line.
I can't be responsible.
I just don't go drinking with him.
Yeah. All right. So, what is your travel motto?
My travel motto. I mean, I think it has to be surrender and go with the flow, because if you try to fight it, you're going to be miserable. Everything cannot work out the way you planned it. It shouldn't probably work out the way you planned it. Some of the best surprises happen when what you planned doesn't occur. So, and I mean, there's definitely been many moments where I have not listened to my own motto and cried in an airport, and it sucks. So it's a mantra I try to tell myself. You just have to surrender and you will figure it out. You will always figure it out. Yeah.
Nice. I love that.
I agree.
All right. Well, we're going to get back to the other one, the fear one.
Okay.
I hope you thought about it.
Well,
I'll get back to it.
I did. On a recent trip, one of my most recent trips, I was fortunate to go to Tonga, which is a beautiful island nation in the South Pacific. And it was an incredible trip. We did all this snorkeling. It was wonderful. And one night they proposed night snorkeling. And I was like, what do you mean? What could you possibly mean by night snorkeling?
Yeah, like how do you...
men going snorkeling at night when it's dark. And, I have lifelong PTSD from seeing Jaws at much too young of an age. And I'm like, everything I learned from Jaws has taught me not to go in the water after dark. This is, again, everything I've ever learned. And I tried to just say like, oh, I'm going to stay back, you guys, but no, you're going. And so we went out to this reef and I had to jump into the water in the dark. And it was very scary to do. Very scary. But then as soon as I got out there and we had flashlights and we started swimming around the reef with our flashlights, it was incredible because all kinds of stuff was out. Wouldn't have been out during the day. We saw squids. We saw a lobster. Wow. I mean, it was unbelievable. But just getting off that boat into the dark was, that was a moment of panic. And I'm glad that it was incredible. It definitely triggered some Jaws than just fear.
I love it. Hey, I'm so happy that we got back to that question because that's
Mhm.
I love it.
Not do it.
I won't do
He won't do it.
You wouldn't
not
do it?
No. No way. Sorry. There's two things that no, I just don't trust what's down there, and then also heights. Heights to me. I went to Machu Picchu,
Oh.
but like years ago, like almost 25 years ago. I went to Machu Picchu, and it was like just boulders, and I was
Yeah.
up, and I was above the clouds, and it was raining, and I just thought I was gonna die, and I was holding on to like Chinese tourists just in case I fell. Like I just, oh my God, I was holding on to anybody. Yeah, it's bad. But
Okay. All right.
but thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for
I
sharing.
would do that. I would do that.
I know you
We'll
would.
do
I
it
would.
together,
you would.
Shannon. We'll do it together. And
I'll be in that pirate ship just
Yeah.
in my pirate outfit.
okay, perfect.
Well, this was awesome.
Yeah, this was awesome, Lauren.
Yeah.
Again, thank you again for your time. I hope we continue chatting about other things
For
and
sure.
and connecting and collaborating. So
Yes.
Thank you.
I do too. Yeah. Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. And if there's one little message you want to send out to our fans,
Say yes. Say yes to the next trip, whenever it is. Say yes. Do it. Life is
Yes,
short.
I agree.
Yep.
Yes.
Dude, best advice ever.
Yeah.
Well,
Like on a trip, and then I'm already like thinking where we're going next. Like
Yeah.
it's just I'm like,
exactly.
and meanwhile, me and my checking account are just crying in the corner. Well, thank you, Lauren, and thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions for Lauren, feel free to comment, message us. Please subscribe, like, share. We're here for you. Remember, we're not travel influencers; we're travel advisors. So anything you hear about travel or locations, we're more than happy to help set up your travel needs. You want to say
no, you're good. You're doing good.
thank you?
You did good.
I tried. It's a bit practice. Well, thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. But you want her.